Hello everyone, all of you are welcome to the present video lecture series in which today I discuss about the disaster management, in which the topic is environmental impact of disasters. So environment itself and their impact by the disasters. So what are the disasters? Number of natural disasters are there and they occur whatever their frequently or maybe alternatively different natural disasters. What are those relates with the water and that may be the cyclone, maybe the tsunami, the tornado, different activities of sea, that is because of the hydrosphere. So water relates those natural disasters. But one more thing is there, how these disaster occurs and what are their types of disasters. Basically, two different types of disasters are there. One is the natural, another is the man-made. Man-made disasters occurs in different places, whatever because of the fault of man, and more is the anthropological activities. The man itself having the industrial revolutions, whatever we have, and by the industrial revolutions, so many technologies are developed, so many machines are there, and development up to the our best sustainability, best support systems by the engineering and technology. Environment itself, that is all around us. So environment that is related with the water. And if disaster occurs, then definitely environment will be affected. So impact on the environment because of the disaster. For example, earthquake. So because of the earthquake, whatever the seismic phenomena of earth, and that earthquake results in different losses of the people, the infrastructure is wholly damaged, then the property losses, and here whole environment is affected of that place where the earthquake occurs. Similarly, in case of the cyclone that is nearby the coastal area, whatever when we see the geography of a world, then definitely there are different islands, different peninsulas, and overall the continents. So continents surrounding these are the sea area. So because of the sea, cyclone, hurricanes, number of other activities are going on in the sea. The tsunami waves because of the movement of sea water, and cyclone very strong speed up to 300 kilometer per hour. So the cyclone, tsunami, hurricane, tornado, different aspects relates with the water. So therefore, as well as when we see the rain, and rain is also relates with the water, and there may be the disaster in the form of the flood, basically the flash flood, the drought if rain is not there. So one more, landslide in the mountain area, in the soft mountains. In case of the Uttarakhand, the landslide occurs. In case of the Maharashtra Konkan area, Maharashtra Konkan area, where the mountain itself is very soft. So there, because of water, the disaster landslide occurs. Because of the landslide, so many people are died. Whereas also the property losses are there. Whole infrastructure is damaged. So that drought, unavailability of rain or scarcity in the rain, so definitely there will be the drought. In India, in Rajasthan, whatever that is the desert area. So here in a desert area, the rainfall is very little. And if suppose that little rainfall is not there, so definitely that area will be in the position of the natural disaster of drought. So drought, flood, another, the landslide, these three, and then the cyclone, tsunami, hurricane, tornado, all these are related with the water. Hydrosphere. So environment itself having the four components. What are those four components? The hydrosphere that relates with the water bodies, the sea, the river, the different surface water, as well as underground water is also there. So that is the hydrosphere. Then atmosphere surrounding the earth. Then the lithosphere, that is the part of the earth, surface of the earth and below the earth. So that is the geological concern. Lithosphere, atmosphere, then the hydrosphere, and fourth one is we, life, that is the biosphere. In case of the biosphere, different animals, even very small creatures, microorganisms, the whatever the protozoans, the amoeba, very small microorganisms. Then the plants, which are also the part of the life, so part of the biosphere, so that concerned with the zoology and botany. Zoology, the science of the animal. Then the botany, the systematic study of knowledge of plants. So plants and animals, so those are the biosphere. So definitely when disasters occurs, for example, a forest fire is there. So forest fire that occurs. So whatever recently the forest fire in the California of United States of America, and that it will that forest fire is a large area, that is recently about 1 lakh hectare land is damaged. 1 lakh hectare of forest is damaged recently. Whereas so many losses in the houses are burned under the process of the firing because of the forest fire. So nearby forest, so many houses, so many property, so many infrastructures are damaged. Along with that particular forest fire also give the environment threat because the forest which when under the fire, and definitely that will release the pollutants. What are those pollutants? Carbon oxides, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, whatever those. And definitely that particular pollutants are also affects the whole of the environment. How? Because that are related with the global warming. So we have to see different disasters and the man-made disasters, though combined with each other. And whatever a third type of disaster it appears, that is the combination of natural and man-made disaster, nuclear blast, nuclear activities, nuclear weapons, whatever the atom bomb, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So that was the man-made disaster. So when we have to see the fighting between two countries, so that is the disaster because of the losses of people as well as. whatever the loss of the property. So definitely we have to see disasters have the great impact on ourselves. So today we discuss about the environmental impact of disaster. So how disasters occurs, and so let's we have the things whatever the definition of disaster, that is the event happen at any time, whatever there is no any definite time, an event at that occur anytime. Earthquake recently 5.0 in India, the cyclone about 2 months ago. So an event, an activity of nature, whatever the natural disasters, even the activity of human being, the nuclear blast, the atom bomb, whatever the different industrial accidents, whatever there may be the different activities of human beings by which the disasters occur, different accidents, different whatever the aeroplane crashes. So that is because of the man-made, where the losses of people, whatever. So that is the disaster. Now, mainly two types: the natural as well as the man-made. Natural, we have the different examples already we have discussed. The water-related disasters, the cyclone, tsunami, tornado. Here, the drought on the land. Here, the flash flood, immediate flood occurs. So, flash flood, the flood, that is the natural, but flashing of flood immediately occurs. Because when we have to see in Delhi, when 2 hours rain is there, and immediately flash flood is there. Why? So that is because of the man-made and natural. Natural, whatever the rainfall. So rainfall plus man-made. So this gives a third one. That is the hybrid disaster. How? What is the hybrid? The combination of natural and man-made disaster. Rainfall, if pressurized rainfall is there, and we have the different urban areas, the metro cities, where there all land is a type of concrete, because there is no space where the water can infiltrate inside the earth, because of the almost 100% in urban area that is covered with the biggest buildings, the biggest infrastructure, different roads, and there is no soil in that urban area space. So how that water go to inside? So that is the man-made disaster because of the infrastructure development. But we need the infrastructure development for our sustainability, for our economy, for our health, because we have to the transportation system definitely help us. So we need the road. So definitely we construct the infrastructure. We have to road our construction, and definitely for the shelter we need the houses. So overall, that one is the man-made disaster. Man needs air, water, food, and shelter. So because of the shelter need, we have to cover all of the area, including the cutting of the forest. We need the land, and we need the facilities for our survival. So transportation, one of the facility, but because of the transportation, the infrastructure is developed as well as the fossil fuels are used. So definitely, whatever we are in a conflict. Why we need this? That is the question. But need we? We also need. We also need the road. infrastructure, we also need the shelter, we also need the houses. So those are the government schemes, and definitely that those countries are the developed country. But the back to the disaster, so these are like a man-made disaster, because immediately we get the flash flood within 2 hours of rain. So that is the flashing of flood. Why? Because of the man-made construction work and because of the development in the infrastructure. So therefore, generally two types: the natural and man-made. Geological, because of the earth activities. The earth activities. What are those particular earth activities? Because of the inside the earth structure, there are different systems in which earth continuously within 24 hours the revolution, and one circle around the earth, that is of 365 and a half a quarter of day. So that is because of this. So continuously earth is like that. So geological effect. What happen if suppose the earth towards the sun, if suppose earth towards the moon, so those are the attractions. Whatever those particular, because of the solar system in which we have to see already, that is also given in my another video lecture. So Earth revolves continuously around the sun. So because of the celestial system, that is the universal system, so those definitely affects the geology, affects the earth. What around inside the earth? So many, whatever the high temperature is there, as well as different rocks are there, soil was there. So whatever the soil, then the rocks, and inside other thing. So because of the geological activities, because of earth movement, continuously there are certain plates are there, so those plates move continuously. Why? Because of the earth system. Earth is already earth also revolve around the sun. So that is the geological. In those particular cases, there are the most important most concern is the earthquake, seismic phenomena. Then volcano eruption, because of the hot, because of the heat inside the earth. So that in the form of the bulk. So that is the geological, whatever the physical, the damage of that physical things. Then the celestial, the cosmic interaction, whatever the meteors, whatever the celestial bodies, they come here and they continuously surround the solar system. So they also affect our earth. Then the natural we have already man-made, different accidents occurs, whatever the nuclear actions. In case of the Chernobyl, 2000 people losses their life because of the nuclear power plant. So that is 2000 degrees centigrade temperature is raised in the Chernobyl accident. 2000 people were lost. So that is the man-made. In case of the Bhopal gas tragedy, 1984, the methyl isocyanide poisonous gas leaked at the midnight. So that is the man-made disaster. 22,000 people were died at the time of the midnight in Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. The concern, because of the concerned industry. That was the industry prepared pesticides, so chemical. Because of that chemical quantity, even in case of the Bhopal gas tragedy. So this is the man-made disaster. Bhopal Gas Tragedy, whatever there may be the other issues, so because of the man made. Even and then we have the hybrid, those are the combination of flash flood, that is the hybrid. Because from the natural disaster, the cyclone, the rainfall, but man-made disaster, more infrastructure is there. So there is no open area of soil in urban cities. So when it's rainfall, then the whole water is collected collectively, and that in the form of the flash flood. In case of the Mumbai fall in because of the rainfall. So that is the, because that is the flash flood. So then earthquake, whatever I have earlier discussed about the activities. Now we have whatever introduction and concepts and different definitions. The we have already defined the disaster, then the hazards which are responsible. So those are hazards, and those are responsible for the disaster. Then their vulnerability, those are the prone area. Then resilience after the activity is, happen, disaster again. Then what will be the final answer? So, what we have the Bhopal gas tragedy, the losses of 20,000 people, and after in 1984, and after the resilience and risk is also important. At this position, even the Hiroshima, Nagasaki, the World War II, where atom bomb were fall, and 9 lakh people were died. So, however, they have still the risk of the genetic modification because of the nuclear weapon, nuclear atom bomb. The different radiations they destroy the DNA, the genes of human being, and still they have the risk. Whatever the genetic modification. Even in case of the Bhopal, the methyl isocyanide poisonous gas, and that also correlates with the genetic modification. So those are the risks still we have because of the disaster. So whatever these are the then we have the next slide. So that's whatever the environmental impact. If suppose we have to see the different industries, industrial wastewater, this is man-made. Why? Because number of pollutants are thrown over the earth in the form of industrial wastewater. So this is also the type of the man-made disaster. Why? Can go to the chemistry of the water, the chemistry of the pollutants. So different pollutants are there in industrial effluent, the industrial waste. So I have earlier discussed about the pesticide industry, and there may be the large number of industries, whatever the industrial revolution. So definitely we have different machines and different chemicals, and those are used, and then whatever even small cleaning also leads the sanitization. This also leads the addition of the chemicals, addition of the poison. Even if suppose we have to concern about the washing material, that is the detergent. So detergent also gives the adverse effect on the environment because of the detergent powder, because of the cleaning materials which we are used for the purpose of sanitation, for the purpose of cleaning, for the purpose of washing, for the different issues of water. So by that, different pollutants are added inside the into the water, different pesticides are added. So where go? Different toxic metals are added. Even the plants, even we can say that petrol and diesel, those are also related with the toxic material. Lead, that that is used in the petrol. So that lead itself is the very toxic material, and lead itself can damage the brain ourselves. So different issues are there. So those pollutants are added into the open area, in the rivers, in the sea. So who will be responsible? So definitely this is the disastrous made by human being. There must be regulation when we have to throw the wastewater into the nature. Whatever the water act, whatever the air acts are there. But the control by those particular acts, Air Act, Water Act 1974 in the Government of India, then Environmental Protection Act 1986. So those are the legal answer. But even though there we need number of facilities, and definitely those facility needs certain materials, and certain materials are because of the chemicals. So chemicals, whatever those chemicals, useful or not useful, or slow poison, or even the poison, even they can damage our organs, even they can damage our genes, the modification in the genes. Recently, the pandemic situation, Corona, COVID 19, the disaster, pandemic, everywhere we get the whatever the impact on ourselves. That is the sociological impact, the economical impact, number of impacts, even the environmental impacts are also there. So that is because of the one micro level virus. So how that virus affect the whole of the world, even impact on ourselves, even the psychological impact, the social impact, the political impact. We need the wire. So that is we need the vaccine, economical impact. So when population, big population that needs the vaccine. So vaccine from where come? Cost will be there. So economical and sociological structure damaged because of the different lockdowns in different countries, the waves, where the waves of corona waves came. So that is also biological disaster, natural disaster. So even we are in a position where all the disasters are interlinked with each other. Then we have the hybrid one. So this is the hybrid one, definitely. So this water goes where? In the atmosphere, on the land, then percolate inside underground. So that is the whatever we can see. So next slide we have to see, and these are the impacts whatever I have discussed: the lockdown, the pandemic situation, the transportation system. Where goes the transportation system? They are not allowed to any of the citizen of any of the country when, because of the pandemic corona 19. So since that, whatever 1.5 year is gone because of the corona. So still we have the SOPs. Still we need the mask, face mask. Still we need the sanitizer. Still we have to keep the different distance, social distancing, the word. So social impact because of the disaster, biological disaster, and that is the COVID 19, the coronavirus. So, because of coronavirus, we all have the impact. So, any of the disaster, there may be the environmental impact, one thing, the second, the sociological, and the ecological. What we have? The interaction of living and non-living, formation of the ecosystem. So, whole ecological. So, what about that? So during the pandemic situation, the lockdown, we are locked in the houses. So what about the ecological impact will be there? So definitely that impact economical aspects. We need the money for the vaccine. So government of India have the planning for free vaccine. So where they get the money? They are not the free. The vaccines are not free. They have paid the money. So that is relates with the economy of India. So how 138 crore peoples get the vaccine and because of the free. So why government needed such a step? Because if suppose that is not there, so definitely there will be the immediate losses of the people. So that is the prevention against the disaster. So whatever that particular aspect, then we have the geographically, whatever the geographically, if we have to concern about the mountain area, then we have concern about the coastal area, then we have to see the plain area, so that is the geography, and even for in internationally, the European countries, the American countries, the African countries, that depends on the geography. Whatever India have given the free vaccine to few countries, so that is the geographical impact because they have not sufficient money, and definitely the geographical impact will be there. So these are the certain impacts. Now we have to come the whatever the environmental impact, that is the first part of this. So in this presentation, I have taken the environmental impact. So all of you are given, that is the lithosphere, then the atmosphere, hydrosphere, and biosphere. So they get definitely certain environmental impacts. So whatever that hydrological impact because of the water, so definitely those, and if a disaster occurs, so there may be the shortage of water in case of the drought. Even if suppose we have the cyclone, so in case of the cyclone, definitely there is the deficiency of drinking water because those water must be also the safest form. So definitely, if in a cyclone, we also need such. So that is the impact on the hydrosphere. So water related disease may be there. So therefore, hydro. Then we have the biosphere. Definitely, whatever I have discussed about the forest fire, in which the losses of losses of different plants, different varieties of plants, different whatever those may be the trees, different types of tree, different shrubs, and different herbs, whatever the variety of animals, the biodiversity. So, in case of the biodiversity, so many losses because of the forest fire. So, recently I have given the example of the United States of America, where the state is the California. So, in those particular area, the forest fire still continues and losses of people, losses of property, losses of infrastructure. So now that is the losses of the biosphere also. So definitely so many species are died, so many number of animals are died because of that particular forest fire, and number of plants are dead, are converted into the ashes, and then their environmental impact is, that is the climate change because of the toxic gases are liberated. For example, in the present forest fire, then definitely carbon oxide gases are liberated. carbon oxides, the carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide. These particular gases are go towards the atmosphere. So go towards the higher side. And then the global warming. So that is also the combination of the global warming is the combination of two natural disaster as well as whatever the man-made disaster. So here is the in forest fire that is the natural disaster. But when we are using the fossil fuels, the petrol and diesel, so that is because of the man-made disaster. Because the carbon dioxide gases, nitrogen oxide gases are liberated because of the transportation system in which various fossil fuels are used. So therefore, this one whole environment is affected. Now, the next one, the sociological, whatever we have already discussed, social, disturb ecological, economical, political. So now these we have the natural disaster. Volcano eruption because of the geological events. Volcanoes, eruption of volcano. High temperature is generated. High temperature on the so because of the earth activity, geological activities, the earth having the hot melted magma, so that will be pressurized and come through the well volcanoes. So that eruption of volcano eruption. So that is given in the in the before the first picture. That is the fire in the petroleum wells. So that is the case of the where the petroleum wells are there and the major fire because in that particular petroleum product the major one is the natural gas. So continuously the natural gas come out from the petroleum wells. So whatever this is one of the case in the sea where the petroleum well is there. But because of the petroleum product, the major one, the natural gas. So natural gas consists of the methane. So therefore that is the flammable gas. So definitely in certain wells there is continuously fire. But because of that, that carbon oxides are atmosphere. So that is relates with the another aspect, climate change, global warming. So this one, the next third one, this is well known, the flash flood or flood. So because of that particular flood, you can get the different losses of human being, even the property. And then there's another one that is the nuclear power plant. So nuclear power plant. If suppose nuclear power plants are blasted, burst, then definitely nuclear products are in the atmosphere, in the lithosphere. So that come out. So there definitely the radiation affects our cell. So therefore, this is also one of the cause man-made disaster, and because of the nuclear power plant, whatever the question earlier in Japan, one of the nuclear plants were nearby the sea, and in that particular case, the tsunami came. So there was the question regarding the nuclear power plant damage in the because of the tsunami or cyclone. So that is the nuclear power plant. Then we have the cyclone, those particular things. So now we can see that major disasters in India, and that is the period of about 30 years. Here, the earthquake, whatever the different effects in the Jammu and Kashmir, that is October 2005. Then avalanche, whatever relates with the ice, snow. Then we have 1991 earthquake in Uttarakhand, October 1991, earthquake in Chamoli, 1990. So that is the part of the Uttarakhand. Then we have the Kosi flood, that is in the Bihar, and that one. So then we have the flood and Assam flood, then Bhopal gas disaster, and then we have the cyclone, whatever the super cyclone in Odisha, and earthquake 2001, that is in Bhuj area, earthquake in Latur, September 1993, Maharashtra, then the Maharashtra being the flood 2005, then different tsunami, whatever that in Kerala, and tsunami in Sri Lanka, Tamil Nadu, and Andhra Pradesh. Then here one of the super cyclone in 1999. So these are the whatever in 2009 there was the cyclone Aila, West Bengal. Then Andaman Nicobar, here is the tsunami. So this is the picture of whatever in our country, that is in India. So different disaster, natural disaster, major disaster occurs in the India. So that is the picture that I can see. We can see that particular. So these are the now, here are the continuously learning situation, learning continuously learn in this. Where is the National Institute of Disaster Management located? The answer is the New Delhi. Here the explanation of this multiple choice question. These multiple choice questions are because of we have to add the learning system. So National Institute of Disaster Management is premier institute for the training and capacity development programs for managing natural disaster in India. It is constituted under the under an Act of Parliament in 1995. So this is because we have to have the capacity build up to preparedness and to whatever the preparedness against the any of the disaster. Recently, in the Bihar and in Madhya Pradesh and in Maharashtra recently flood was there. So that is because of our the country have hold. Now the another disaster can be broadly terms whatever the where already I have discussed. The disaster can be accidental or intentional. Accidental disaster, the natural disasters like so many example. Here we can say the bombing, the terrorism. Terrorism is also one of the whatever that particular. So the natural, the man-made disaster. So there are the two types. Whatever we have also to measure the flood variability, and here the unit FM, FFMI. So FFMI, this is the flash flood magnitude index. It is the standard deviation of logarithm to the base of the 10 of annual maximum series. So this is flash flood FF magnitude index. Flash flood magnitude. Now tsunami detectors are placed in sea at how many kilometers from shore. So here the tsunami detectors are placed about the answer is the 50 kilometer from the seashore. Coastal tidal gauges can detect the tsunami closer to the shore. It is placed at 50 kilometers in the sea from the shore. Whatever the tidal gauges are related with the tsunami, but whatever the detectors are placed 50 kilometers from the shore, so they are linked by to land by submarine cables and give warning in the time. Now, how many hectares of Indian lands are prone to flood and river erosion? River erosion is also, so here the correct answer 40 million hectare. So over 40 million, whatever that may be, the 400 lakh hectares, which is almost 12% of land is prone to flood and river erosion. So 12% of whole of land itself is gone. These floods and river erosion causes various disasters for the life, human being and other organisms including the vegetation. When was the Asian Disaster Preparedness Center was established? And here the correct answer 1986. Asian Disaster Preparedness, whatever preparedness means prepared at the when disaster occurs they are ready. Center established in 1984 as a technical capacity building center. It is an independent regional non-profit organization that work to build the resilience of people and institutions to disaster and climate change impact in Asia. So that is also discussed, also preparedness, and this is in 1986. Now, this one is one of the whatever the impact when we have one of the flood disaster and Uttarakhand flood disaster occurs. So here the whatever the cloud blast occurs. So therefore what we have, so disasters are very so all of you are thankful and listening my the lecture, video lecture, and that is important for all of us because the disaster may be whatever the three types now at this moment because earlier in the there are only two types but because why the three type third type is become because that is the combination of natural disaster as well as the man-made. So in case of the man-made disaster they occurs whatever because of the main intuition means interest. So therefore we can say and so here three types and whatever the impact on the environment, the overall impact on the environment and that is relevant with the climate change one thing, the global warming another thing. So that is because of the combination of natural as well as the man-made. Here, number of nuclear weapons are made up by different countries, even so many countries which are very advanced countries, and they have their the concern of the nuclear weapon there, the missile, nuclear missiles are there. So what about this? So that results definitely the man-made disaster. So therefore, we have the in case of the India, various disasters occurs except the volcano eruption is not in here in India, but major concern is the because of the 6,000 kilometer of seashore and so therefore the this is the shore area, the coastal area of India is mainly affected by the sea activities and those include the tsunami and the cyclone and the tornado. So whatever that concern are also important, relevant. So I think all of you have to learn whatever that is most important concern in our life, the disaster any event or whatever no time no answer for any of that so anytime any event occur whether recently whatever earthquake was there in India the last day so that there may be anytime may be whatever the flash flood anytime when rain is there so that is the so it is big challenge for the sustainability of human being because of so number of disasters are definitely affect our environmental as well as our whole system. We have already seen the present context of the COVID 19, the pandemic situation, where all are locked down, the physiological, the psychological, the sociological, the economical, various impacts are there. So if anyone want to touch me, contact me, then you can see the website, Suresh Gyanvihar University website, and where my contact number is there, as well as anyone can give me opportunity to discuss about the relevant informations, whatever I have given, or other interaction for the knowledge sharing. So therefore, my contact number 9828410654, and as well as my email ID rc.chipa of mygyanware.com. So anyone can also visit our Suresh Gyanware University, which is one of the world's infrastructure, and as well as the great human resources are available at the Suresh Gyanware University. So that's all. Okay, all the best. Okay, thank you for listening, for having the patience for my lecture.